Welcome, beautiful friends. We are back.
We're back.
Okay, where are we going tonight, honey?
Good to be here.
It's nice to see so many shining faces. Cindy and I are coming to you from the same location, but last week, if you're on Facebook, you might know that our iMac died that we've been using for our One Who Wakes work. It's served us very, very well for quite some time. I don't think it was ever designed to be upside down in an Airstream trailer traveling around creation.
I don't think that was in the minds of Apple when
they designed it. But anyway, our iMac died, so we're actually using a computer now gave us last year. So thank you, Nan. It's nice that we have a smaller one that we can do the backup on. But if anyone's interested, we would gladly take donations to replace our iMac in order to do this joyful work that we do. Obviously, it's not required. We're able to do it this way. But if so, if you want to make a donation towards that, please indicate in your donation that you are earmarking it for that purpose. Otherwise, as always, we welcome your donations.
Yes, and thank you very much for those of you who have made donations in the past week. Those for everyone, but also for those that specified it was towards the iMac fund. I'd say we're probably about 2/3 of the way there.
Wow, great. That's very exciting.
So
thank you all very, very much. Okay, so last week we left off with the discovery of mystery as we invited the replacement of God with mystery and love with freedom. So rather than seeking God or God's love or all our ideas of what that is, what if we're only seeking to explore the mystery utterly freely? And what if the blocks to the awareness of it's no longer love? Remember, we're looking for the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. What if we're looking for the blocks to the awareness of freedom's presence? So what if all we're doing is letting go of our limitations? Does that change your relationship to releasing things that no longer serve you, things that limit you from knowing your eternal, limitless light, to being a finite body in this world, or having had multiple incarnations in many, many worlds? What if we're releasing our limitations to the freedom of light, the freedom of light to create anything, everything, joyfully, freely, powerfully? And what if we give up trying to figure out the mystery and we merely accept that we are mystery, ceaselessly unfolding and exploring our own eternal nature as light itself? Wow. I mean, just feel into that. Does this sense of a spiritual journey that's been so damn serious for so long that your mind has studied so hard for, what if we contrast that feeling and all of the energy of seeking and attainment and striving and efforting? What if we contrast that with the acceptance of mystery? Never to be comprehended, never to be figured out, but ceaselessly, freely offered us to explore. Does that feel different for you? You got a grin on your face.
I was thinking, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine this past week, and this is a friend that's spent a lot of time investigating different thought systems through the years. And by the time the conversation wound up, we had said, I don't know, so many times that we were going to take that little abbreviation that you do in text, I don't know, IDK, and decide that we were honorary members of the IDK club. And it's joyful to be in the IDK club because then you can fully surrender into the mystery and how it is arriving as and through you.
Right. But
Beautiful.
of course, in all of Yeshua's pathway, he says we don't know what a thing is or what it's for. And he asks us to come to a place of, I don't know. But if you're still holding on to the idea that you need to know, or that you've got to figure this out, or you've got to get it right, I don't know is not a very peaceful place to be, is it?
No,
No,
it
because
takes acceptance
yeah,
for
it
us
leaves
there.
you still in your mind in the realm of knowing through concepts and beliefs. But what we've been exploring in BBIP is our true nature as light itself, and that our light needs no beliefs, it needs no concepts, it needs no understanding in order to be the field with which experience can arise. And the master said, become like a little child. This is what he was referring to. Infants are brilliantly awake, wide awake, and they're right here having the full experience without a single thought system, without a single belief, without seeking for anything. And, it's just not there. So what if we move past knowing or not knowing as mental concepts and rush towards the mystery of freedom in our light that already has the infinite capacity to experience anything and everything? Because right now our light is on in each of us, no matter how we're choosing to uniquely limit it, and we're not doing anything for it to be on. It's literally the presence of God within us. Whether we call that light, or whether we call that awareness, or whether we call that consciousness, we don't even friggin' need to remotely understand it to experience it, to know its presence through our lived experience. What would it feel like to give up chasing knowing or even needing to know and rest like a child back into my ability to experience is accomplished right here, right now. My ability to be aware of my existence is already whole and complete. Now we've explored a little bit how we have used the light of consciousness, the light of awareness, to limit what we perceive to our physical body and its five senses, right? And what a brilliant job we have done of looking only upon the temporary things in creation, narrowing our light so significantly that the only thing our physicality and its senses can tell us is that things are temporary, because our senses only report temporary things to us. But we took a very interesting, joyful, curious, playful journey with our light to discover that light has the capacity to not only reveal to us the temporary, but also the eternal. When we expanded our light from our physical body, our master of presence, and we began to perceive and know the vast emptiness, the spaciousness, the spacious presence is what I call it, that is suffusing our very bodies and is suffusing all of creation. And all we didn't have to go like read new spiritual texts to do this. We didn't have to master any new yoga posture. We didn't have to master anything except we used our sovereign power of choice to allow our light to inform us in a greater way than it had before. And that's actually a level of awakening. We awaken that we are light, and that light is not limited to just reporting the physical and its five senses. Now, I know, I think it was Oriana posted a beautiful thing on the Facebook page where she indicated that during one of the sessions, she had the realization, the revelation that she was light and did not need a body at all to exist. That if the body's gone, that light remains eternally so. That's a very cool revelation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And we have these revelations because we begin to claim light as our identity rather than thought, rather than temporary experience, rather than our body. And we begin to open to the power and wisdom of light to inform us in really new ways. So we played with that early on, and then we came to hold. We invited our light to hold spaciousness, emptiness, pure awareness, and our physicality at the same time. So that it wasn't one or the other, but that we could come back into union of the eternal and the temporary, that they're not separate, that they have always been in a perfect union. We've just used our light to become unaware of that perfect union. For those of you who are Course of Love student, this is what he calls wholeheartedness, or unity of spaciousness, unity of light in relationship to temporary things that come and go. Unity and relationship. And this occurs within our accomplished self, this light that we already are, that none of us have to do anything to get. No matter what we've done, it still shines in our minds, it still shines in our bodies, it still shines in our very existence. And this very same light is true of every being in existence, no matter what they believe, no matter what thought system they may be playing with. It doesn't matter if they're Muslim or Christian or Buddhist or alien lovers. It really doesn't matter. It's the same light of consciousness, the same light of God that is present within all, that allows us to mysteriously explore any thought system we may choose. So none of them thought systems are right. None of them are wrong. They just create different levels of experience. Isn't that cool?
It's beautifully woven together.
Yeah. So just let your eyes close, take a really deep breath, exhale, and let yourself just really drop in. Invite your body to deeply, deeply relax. On the next in-breath, just notice, where is my light focus right now? This is my sovereign light. It's exclusively mine. Where am I consciously or unconsciously focusing on it? Am I using it to just watch thoughts? Am I using it to worry about a future that doesn't have any reality? Just notice, where are you consciously focusing your light? And if that's where you would like it to be, leave it there. If that's not where you would like it to be, please choose again. I invite you to use that light to become aware of your physical form wherever you are, and also to become aware of the spaciousness suffusing your body. And by this point in our journey, you've probably done this many times already. Don't hold an expectation this time of what that will be like based on what your experience in the past has been. Or inevitably, you can and will very subtly color what your now experience might be. We can rest here in the holy instant of now, using our eternal light to know our temporary body-mind existence and our eternal presence. It's not hard. It's not complicated. We don't need to travel to the Himalayas and hear the super secret mantra which will open my crown chakra to the entirety of existence. Right there in your own living room, the power of your light, the mysterious wisdom within it, can do this with no effort and inform you perfectly. And let yourself just rest there in your present experience, claiming the sovereignty of your light to focus it wherever you wish, however you wish. And let yourself feel the fulfillment of that is already accomplished. No amount of studying will make it any greater. It already is. We can very playfully explore the mystery with our light and ceaselessly reveal and come to know our freedom evermore, evermore, evermore. So tonight we're going to turn our light and use it in a new way to bloom one of our senses. We've used our senses in limiting ways. I wonder what I might experience if I embraced the mystery and allowed my light to reveal my incarnate experience differently than I have limited it in the past. Cindy's going to read a post that somebody put on the BBIP page, and that's going to be our jumping off point.
So some of you may have seen this. For those of you who are not doing Facebook, you haven't. So this is a post that we got on Sunday from Peggy Lacey, and she's sharing with us a quote from Rumi's Little Book of Life, and it spoke to her particularly on that day, and she decided to share it with us. The five senses are linked together, for all five have grown from the same root. When one is strengthened, the rest are enhanced. Seeing enhances speech, communication increases vision, and sight stimulates and awakens every sense to spiritual perception. If one sense breaks free from its bonds, having a glimpse of the invisible, it makes it apparent to all others. You have seen how when one sheep jumps over the creek, the whole flock follows. So drive the flock of your senses to pasture and let them graze on the heavenly flowers in the garden of truth.
Wow. Rumi was very sexy. I appreciate his wisdom and how he expressed it. So we've already awoken our light in new ways together by allowing our light simply, just through choice, not through effort, through a simple willingness and choice, to allow our light to inform us of the spaciousness that suffuses our bodies. We're going to talk tonight specifically about the sense of hearing and how we have used our light to report to us sounds. We would probably all define hearing as the recognition of sound. And if someone is deaf, they can't hear sounds. So in the same way that we used our light to focus just on the body, we use the sensory of hearing to report to us only sound. Isn't that interesting? So once more, we take our temporary engagement device, our body, and we use our light to tell our sense of hearing, only report to me sound. So let's explore sound and the faculty of hearing as a temporary experience. And let's be curious and dive deep into the mystery and see how our light may be able to inform us of what's eternal about the sense of hearing. And I wonder if, like we did with our body and spaciousness, if we can allow our light to bloom our sense so that we can simultaneously hold the temporal sounds and the eternal silence. There's lots of teachings about silence and spirituality, and if you've ever tried to meditate and held the belief that you had to get to silence, wow, it gets really loud in your mind, doesn't it? Like freakishly, ridiculously. It's like as soon as you have an intention to go to silence, whoo, every sound seems to get magnified. Or we try and create super peaceful, tell the kids, don't make any noise, no nothing. I'm trying to meditate and it needs to be silent. Because we're using the faculty of hearing and thinking we have to exclude sound in order to come to silence. And this is the same misperception when we try and exclude things to get to wholeness. It's just like everything's counterintuitive. Our attempts to get to wholeness through excluding lead us in the wrong way.
Peggy's on the call.
Oh, great. I'm glad Peggy's here. This is Peggy's gift to the whole group.
Thank you, Peggy.
Yeah, thanks, Peggy. So just notice how effortless it is for you to hear my words. You need have no intention. You need take no action whatsoever in order to hear. Your mind may have opinions or beliefs about things I say. It may like some things. It may object to other things. But you're even hearing words in your mind that aren't actually being spoken in sound. Have you ever noticed that? That nobody else can hear the words that you hear in your mind? That's a fascinating mystery to discover and play with if you wish. But that's a little diversion. That's not where we're going to. But again, just in the same way that we have noticed our light and that it's effortless, we're noticing our hearing and that it is absolutely effortless. None of us are striving to do it. You don't wake up in the morning and be a good spiritual hearer and try really, really hard. It so is that we don't give it a second thought. We don't notice because it's always been there. Just like our light, just like spacious presence, we merely haven't noticed. So use your light now to focus exclusively on your hearing. Let go if you've fractured your light and you've got a bit of it watching your thoughts, you've got a bit of it on your body, you got a bit of it doing whatever. Just bring all of your light to the effortless ability to hear. And just notice how simple it is. Notice how effortless it is. No thought required, no belief system required. Hearing just is. Now, without any effort, expand your light to not only hear the words or the sounds that are around you, but expand your light to hear, feel, and know the silence which is suffusing all sound. An eternal, ever-present field of perfect silence in which all sounds come and go. I can feel into the group, and some of you are feeling it almost as a sense of deep depth. Some are feeling it as a sense of width. If there wasn't an eternal silence, there could be no sound. Silence and sound are one. Oh my God, what if we were seeking the truth of silence? And what if the truth was only silence and not any sound? Oh shit, would that be boring? If only silence were true, you couldn't hear my voice. There would be no music. There would be no song individually sung by every bird and animal and person that presently walks this world. And let yourself notice that silence is all loving. It allows all sound. It embraces and suffuses all sounds. It lets the sound of a beautiful bird signal the coming of a new day, and it effortlessly and equally allows the thunder of a jackhammer on the sidewalk outside your apartment or your home. Silence makes no distinction, no judgment, imposes no limitation upon how the mystery of sound may express. Wow. I wonder what more my sense of hearing could reveal to me if I use the power of my light to hold both sound and the unconditional embrace of the silence from which all sounds arise.
So as I was doing that, is an awareness of a feeling state when and the words that fall into my mind is, my God, this is what potential feels like.
Oh, so silence, your feeling sense of silence feels like potential.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So what if silence is this uncomprehendable mystery that we don't need to know, but we're ceaselessly provided the freedom to explore the mystery of silence through the exploration and expression of sound?
Yes. And coupled to that is the capital K knowing, because we can we put it, I'm putting it in sensory terms, but I get it can be known. It can be known.
Wow. So cool. And we've just started. Wow.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah, wow is right. So recognize that your light, your sovereign, eternal, God spoke you into existence, let there be light, is present in your physical experience as pure silence so that you can explore and express the mystery of sound.
So I'm reminded through this immediate experience, but Anne Rumi's poem of those people whose ability to hear color.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, Rumi's talking about
yes,
that.
Exactly.
That's where we're headed in blooming our senses so that they no longer function as independent parts of a body-mind structure, but are the expression of a unified field of light, creating and experiencing freely within the mystery of existence. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I'm reminded that Jody was sharing with I don't see Jody on the call this evening, but she was sharing, she's an artist, a painter, and that she was painting the other day, and she asked herself a question: can I know what yellow feels like? Can I know what blue feels like? And so within that spacious presence, she tunes into the colors, and she can distinguish a feeling sense between those colors. Whoa. So now we're getting all of these overlaps.
Cool. Isn't this fun? Here we go. The fun part of waking up. So what if you devoted a bit of your time to reminding yourself to use your light differently than your habituated patterns, and invited your light to constantly, effortlessly reveal to you this silence, eternal silence, the nature of your very self, and the richness of your temporary experience. Because if I were to ask, each of you would have a long list of sounds that you like, and I bet you would have an equally eager and long list of sounds that you don't like. And that's perfectly okay. But I wonder, what might your relationship to those be, rather than the temporary body mind with its preferences, if you held the vastness of silence and sound in unity and experience the relationship to those things differently? What if you no longer had to avoid certain sounds or words or types of music, because as silence, they all reveal the mystery to us? We're free to hold preferences. Nothing is wrong with those. I like pepperoni pizza. Cindy likes mushroom. Perfectly okay. But I wonder if my experience of being incarnate in a temporary body mind would be different if I use my light to hold my eternal nature and my temporary nature simultaneously, rather than trying to separate them and get away from one, thinking we'll get to the other. What if we're just closing the tiny little gap? And in this case, we're playing today with sound and silence. So what if every temporary sound you hear carried with it the knowing of your eternal self?
Wow, that's a big one.
Wow. I wonder if that would alter your experience simply, effortlessly, on a daily basis. So that rather than trying to create a sanctuary of silence in which to meditate, you could rest in a sanctuary of silence with whatever sounds are happening in life. What if we could bring our eternal peace of silence to the full experience of sound, not just part of them? Wow. Cool. And we do this not through effort, but simply through the choice to use the infinite, mysterious intelligence of light, of consciousness, of awareness, to reveal to us the eternal and the temporary together, simultaneously. The heaven of silence, the earth of sound, coming together as one. Wow.
I find this to be really exciting.
Well,
And
you just go ahead and be excited.
because it's the mystery that we are able to experience sound at all and be silence in that experience just feels awe exciting. Awe exciting, that's the same thing.
Oh,
Yes,
exciting.
yes.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I
Maybe
can't get
you
words out.
coined something
I
new.
can't.
Oh, exciting.
Um, I mean, it's joyful. I feel this tremendous gratitude about, holy smokes, this is, but okay.
All right. Well,
You go on. You
let's
go on.
just explore a few things here. So can I just do a little awe excitement interview with you?
Sure, I
Okay.
might levitate in the middle of it, but we'll try.
Well, that'd be great. I think everybody here would really enjoy that. Peggy, do you see what you started? So, would it be true that if you heard bad, evil, unspiritual sounds, that your silence would punish you?
No.
Would it be true that if you heard a bad sound, your silence would demand you be different than you are?
No.
Is there anything to fear about silence?
No.
Would you like me to be silent? So the point here is just notice how we have created all manner of fear of the unknown. And for many of us, silence we would fear, because if you look at your mind, the idea that there would be nothing seems frightening. But that's not the point. That's not what we wake up to. We wake up to the nothing that is the field of everything that we are freely and mysteriously experiencing. So we don't lose anything when we bring the eternal into union with the temporary. We gain everything. And Yeshua says this in his pathways: we give up nothing to get everything. The Spirit doesn't ask us to give up anything temporary. It simply offers us the eternal. And many of us have believed, oh, well, then I have to like banish the temporary. Have you tried? Walk around banishing the temporary. Oh my gosh, but we hold this idea that somehow we have to get to that mythical state of perfection. Not so. We can bring our eternal nature. We can reverse the choice to use our light to limit our consciousness to just the temporary, and we can reawaken, and in this case we're blooming the sense of hearing, so that our light will expand that from not just the temporary but to the eternal. Because Cindy, I got another question for you. Would you believe, or does your gnosis reveal to you, that silence must already contain all sound?
Yeah, we're back to potential.
So silence contains all potential of sound.
Yes.
And would that be just good sounds? Because I'm on a spiritual path and I have to just do the good.
You know the answer to that.
Well, I know, but you humor me here. I'm playing the good spiritual student. Master, tell me which sounds I should not listen to, which music I shouldn't listen to, which whatever I shouldn't listen
to. Okay. Should I do this?
No. All right.
In your freedom. Oh, in your freedom, everything is available.
Wow. So we can't harm our silence.
No.
Our silence already contains the potential of all sounds.
Yes.
So I wonder if our ability to hear is a way in which the mystery is freely experiencing its own nature through the faculty that we call sound or hearing.
Yes.
Wow. Steve Korowitz got his thumbs up. He's excited about this one. So each of us probably. You got something else?
Yeah. Don't get stuck on this thought that sound is an auditory thing. Sound is a whole being experience. So feel it sound, feel sound in your beingness, and don't limit it to just what you hear with an eardrum.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So oftentimes all of us can have a proclivity to kind of one sense or the other. I've always been kind of clairaudient, so this whole silence and sound thing really bloomed for me, and I began to hear kind of spiritually in ways that you don't hear physically. Some people may have it through the sense of smell or taste. They can be. So if there's one that you are particularly drawn to, well, then play with that one. But also recognize that every sense has its eternal equivalent. And when we bring those back together, like Rumi's poem, we strengthen all of them so that every aspect of our being is awake to its eternal nature while having the temporary experience. So we can be in the temporary, but not exclusively of it. We can be of the eternal because we're experiencing it, not because we believe in it, not because we pray so perfectly, not because we count the rosary beads just right, but because we're experiencing it. We're having the sense of this vast potential while we're experiencing our daily fulfillment of it. Isn't that incredible?
I'd say be joyful in the miracle.
Wow, isn't that cool? Okay, so take a deep breath. On the exhale, relax. And if you have any idea that you have to get away from the temporary to know the eternal, let it go. Let it go. And realize that the temporary is an expression of our eternal nature. It's not wrong. It's not bad. But when we experience the temporary exclusively and we lose awareness, we go to sleep to our eternal nature, we suffer because we think we're temporary. Oh, not so. Thank God it's not so. So Michael has asked a question, is it possible to have perfect silence? If you have learned to uncouple your light from your physical form and move it multidimensionally, of course it's possible to get to a realm that is pure silence where no sound exists at all. So it is capable of reaching that state in consciousness, which I have. And I thought that was the point. And I kind of hung out there. And it didn't take long until I said, well, there has to be more than this. Oh my God, I think I have finally found the eternal silence of God. And God is unknowable without expression. But yet God is known as the knower through all expression. So that's when heaven and earth start to come back together in unity and relationship, to use his words. So yes, Michael, it's possible. And I would encourage you, if you want to discover it, learn that your light isn't limited to the body and you can move it at will. You may have to release some of your chosen freedom limitations in order to do that. Not that you have to forgive yourself your past life regressions and all that. You can, but you just let go of the way in which you've limited your light to be exclusively focused on a body at this point in time and space. But anybody wants to try, go play with it. You can't hurt your silence, and every sound goes away. It's not like you're going to get stuck with one sound and hear it forever. Thank goodness for that. So do we have any other questions?
Yes. So, well, Savannah has a comment. I had a moment when the sound / silence dropped me into a place beyond body, almost felt a bit dizzy.
Well, Savannah, congratulations. And I'm hoping you will come to embody that state. It may feel very unusual at first. We can label them as mystical experiences, which, by the way, can get you a lot of credit in spiritual communities if you play them right. Just make sure you milk that one for all it's worth. But it can feel, we can have many responses to the eternal and the temporal becoming one. But what happens is, for a moment, our light expands and you knew silence in a much more deep way, but then it seems to go away. And then we can strive and effort to get it back, because only if I had it back, gosh, I would be so peaceful. Well, I'm sharing with you the simple, natural way to rebloom that, to cultivate through your sense of hearing. And I'm not exclusive, like Cindy said, we're not exclusively referring to the body, and the relationship to sound, not by separating them anymore, but by discovering that they're eternally one, so that you can come to embody an expanded state of consciousness, an expanded state of awareness, in which silence and sound are whole. It's not one or the other, it's both. And both, there's the silence that sings of the presence of God, and sound that sings of the expression of God.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is beautiful. So we can come not through prayer or wondering this will happen. We come to this by claiming our identity as light, releasing the limited ways we've used our light, and begin to use our light differently. We expand its use to not just show us the temporary, but to show us the eternal and the temporary, so that we can have a whole experience. Make sense? I hope so. Anything else there?
You have a question from Lisa. Um, how does the silence with all sounds relate to music or a musician who hears creates?
Well, I think that's a unique journey for every one of us. We each, in our sovereignty, are a unique expression of that sound. How I experience it, I've heard, some stuff about Bach or these composers who would hear these entire orchestras within, because they had expanded their light to the sound, the silence of all potential, and were inviting forth ever greater, more beautiful, more harmonic expressions of silence. And in that use of their light, and in the sovereign use of their choice to give that potential of silence expression, sound, orchestras poured forth from within them. Not because they had finally purified themselves and they were good enough, but because they were using their sovereign light for that intention. And you don't have to make this all spiritual. It will just come very, very naturally. I've heard people who try and pray every prayer as though it's supposed to benefit everybody in creation. And they don't draw forth what might be their own unique joy in the sovereignty of their own being, because they're trying to be so vastly spiritual and helpful to everyone. So how the musician hears it, I've described. Then comes the joy of finding a way to give that inner sound outer expression. And this is when God is extended. Rivka's been extending her gift of the change journey that she got within, and she's been extending it outward and offering it as a gift. The magician, I guess the magicians do it too. We just kind of like that. The musician is giving expression to what the inner silence they have brought forth. Not that the inner silence thinks they're special, simply because they've chosen to use their light for the revelation of that. And Wendy's pointing out that Beethoven was deaf, but could still hear that, and he was still composing amazing music. Isn't that cool? I mean, you look at any, like Van Gogh. Sight for Van Gogh, and we'll come to blooming the sense of sight, he was seeing what others couldn't see. That's why his paintings have lasted well beyond his temporary form, because he expressed something eternal in them. Isn't that just beautiful? So you got something to say?
Yeah, I have a question for you, since you've been asking me questions all night.
Oh, great.
So,
wait. I need to get my right answer thinking cap on.
Is it true that we are all musicians?
My inner knowing says, yep. That's the mighty trumpet blowing. Yes, we're all.
So
we're doing that not just through the words we may speak or the music we may make, but by the very lives that we live.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So we're invited into mastering our individual expression of music.
Uniquely, not bound by a spiritual box that says what your life is supposed to look like, not trying to be like some other person who has expressed great expression. And I remember the master said something, that the greatest are equal to the least. What we say are great, and what we say are the least. They're using the same power to draw forth equally from the mystery and give it expression. So cool.
Oh, this is beautiful. So, Juliana has shared the image of the movie August Rush just came to mind, where August hears all the sounds, and they were part of a big capital S silence. I guess a sound becomes a noise when we focus our light in only aspect, like our physical senses, and we believe it can change us. I kind of feel the difference between sound, neutral, and noise, full of meaning.
Wow. I think that's beautifully said, Juliana. I'm not sure I could add much more to that, except that when it becomes noise, it's probably got our judgment on it in some way. Our labels, our judgments, our goods, our bads, whatever it is. And I'm not by any means saying everybody don't have your preferences. Like what you like. But what you don't like isn't wrong or bad. So thank you, Juliana. That's really, really beautiful. Damien asked, I wonder about hearing music, about healing music can heal you. I can't read what he wrote there.
Okay, I wonder about healing. Music can heal you. Beings have found the divine mystery in music.
Of course. Anytime that we create a context in which the temporary and the eternal are not separate, that is a healing opportunity. And that's this whole BBIP has been about this, bringing union by using our light differently, because healing comes when we close the gap of separation, when we are no longer separate, we are no longer in fear, we are no longer exclusively identified as the temporary. So there are many, many beautiful sound healing techniques. And if you're clairaudient or if sound is your thing, you may very well slip into that silence and sound combo, and healing may be the effect. But you don't need a sound healer to do that unless you believe that you need them to do it. And if so, that's just because you give them power to do it. And that's okay. That's just one way we do it, but it's within you now. Whew. So let's just play together. Take a really deep breath. And on the exhale, close your eyes. And let your light reveal to you the silence and its unconditional love, its vast and infinite potential in every sound that is around you. Not just my voice, maybe a dog barking in the background, maybe an appliance humming away in the corner. Whatever it is, if every single sound is a whisper of the mystery of silence saying, I am here, I am here, I am here. How soft can your hearing be to welcome the eternal in every sound? Maybe crickets in the distance, mystery expressing mystery through sound. Maybe a fan running in the background, the mystery and manifestation as a fan, singing the eternal song, I am here, I am here, I am here. Wow, this is just friggin' cool. So would you be willing to play in the mystery this week of the relationship of sound and silence? Reawakening your light so that the eternal nature of silence and the temporary nature of sound can be one. That you can know your eternal nature while experiencing the temporary things that come and go through sound. In the same way, we awoken and expanded our light into presence. Use our same light and a simple choice and a little bit of willingness to awaken our light to inform us of the temporary and the eternal, so that all sound, whether we like them or not, we know to be an expression of the vast potential of existence. I love myself. I really do.
Should we call it a night?
Yeah, I think we should. So I do have a song, and guess what?
I think I know.
Oh, do you?
Was it by a famous couple? Well, partnership.
It probably was, but since we're using our little Mac here tonight, I can't do it like I did on the big one. I'll put it in the video, but I'm gonna play. Here we go. Let's see.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its scenes while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs and voices never shared, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence, and the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning, and the words that it was forming. In the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, in tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence.
Woo-hoo! So, friends, what if the enlightenment we have all been seeking is just the removal of the limiting barriers that we have placed upon our own light, so that we can know the eternal while we freely explore and experience the temporary? Releasing the limitations we have bound against our own freedom as light or consciousness itself. Wow. I love myself, honey. Do we have anything to add this week?
No, have a lovely week.
And enjoy play. This is about discovery. You can't get hearing wrong, and you can't screw up silence. So all you can do is be in discovery and play with the relationship of those things in wholeness and have your experience. Peggy, thank you very much for channeling our next session for us. You probably didn't know that when you were moved to do that Rumi poem. That's exactly how BBIP 1 Point Previous went. You know, everybody's a part of this co-creative thing. So we thank you very much, Peggy, for following that guidance. So we love and celebrate all of you with an infinite love.
And a perfect peace.
And a perfect silence. And
What?
All sounds.
Awesome.
So we'll see. Let me unmute everybody so we can all say goodbye.
Bye.
Play well, friends.
Goodbye.
See you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.